you've just been saying I'm tired for so long, that's like, okay, well, are you going to do anything about it? Or are you just going to keep on being tired? Quit watching the same Netflix show and quit eating garbage and like do something that's kind of hard to allow you to rest. Experiment. Stop having the mindset of tired. Because tired equals meh. Your whole life is meh. Your marriage is meh. Your parenting, your health, everything when you're exhausted is just like, your Eeyore.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Tug of More.
Guys, thrilled that you're here. Just a conversation between two good old buddies.
That's right.
About where we are and where we want to be. This is the tension, the tug, the difficulty of life.
Because we know that we have more that God has in store for us. But right now, today, we're right where we are.
Yeah.
And so everything we talk about is just about the balance and the tension between today and the future. And so, man, we have a lot to share today. What are we going to talk about?
Well, Whit, first of all, the tug team is nailing it. They are tomming around town.
Oh, I wanted to get the one to share, but I guess we got to wait.
We got to wait.
Because we got to go.
They're tomming around town. And I got to tell you, listen, we're doing a lot of stuff around here.
Yep.
So we've dropped the ball a little bit on we're mailing you free merch.
We're gonna.
It's on the way. It's
we
here.
haven't dropped the ball because we're
in process.
So ahead. We're right now on our schedule ahead. So by the time we're recording, by the time they're coming out,
by the time you're watching this, people will have already received their free tomming around town merch.
So we're actually ahead.
But remember, we said, like, here's the stuff, and then I don't know if we didn't have it yet.
But we will, right?
Yeah, we put something. See? Something's there. It might not have been accurate, but it's on there. So
I've been seeing people in other cities. I've been seeing people in our own city. I've been seeing people doing specific tasks while listening to the Tug of More. I've been seeing them watch while driving to work, like functions. I've been seeing it everywhere. I'm so excited.
You guys are tomming around town, and we love it. Now, here's the problem.
What?
Is we said we were only going to give away one every 5 episodes. Now,
this is Preston's issue, though.
This is my issue. Is why can't we just do one every episode?
Because the hat costs money. We're bridging the gap still, bro. We can't do it.
I know. I want to do one every week, but we'll get there.
We're gonna get there. And you got to just keep doing it because we're paying attention. We see you, and we'll choose somebody each time, every few. We don't know. Maybe it'll be every 3. How about every 3 instead of every 5? Can we compromise?
How about, I would say every 7. You like my hat?
Yes, I like your hat. Tell the people why it says 7, just in case they don't know.
Oh, well, it says 7 because in the Bible, the number 7 is the number of completion.
Yes.
And so it's like a
perfection,
completion. It's a big biblical number. And so I'm trying to, as the younger staff has been telling me that I need to step up my hat game.
Yes. Well, you wanted to wear more hats, and they were like, you should wear hats. And you're like, but I don't have any hats. And then they were like, well, then you should get some hats. And then
so start buying hats.
So get some hats.
So I got on the internet and I typed in hats.
Which is also the reason for like your excitement about the Tom Around Town hats is because you're in a hat era. You're in your hat era.
I need some hats.
Yes.
Well, here's what I said. I either have to start wearing hats or I got to book a flight to Turkey. Those are the options.
Me and Aaron got to go get
Me and Aaron are about to go get some hair implants, or I got to start wearing hats every once in a while.
Yeah, you got to.
But this hat is it's a little hot.
It's a winter hat. Like it's
a little
thicker.
hot. I'm not going to be able to wear it the whole episode.
The one you had, really?
It's hot. I'm getting hot under here.
But tell also the theory of why you might be getting hot. Because you grew up in a cold environment.
Yeah, it might actually not be physical. It might be all psychological.
Because lots of times that
growing up in Michigan in the winter, you have to wear a hat because it's so cold. Mm-hmm. And so you're taught, like in Oklahoma, you're probably taught about tornadoes.
100%. I know everything.
We didn't learn nothing about tornadoes in Michigan. You know what we learned? Your heat from your body escapes from your head.
Yes.
80% of your heat escapes from your head.
My mom used to say that to me too, but it was not.
But it was like
cold.
drilled into you. Put your hat on. Put your hat on. And so anytime I'm wearing a hat, I'm only thinking like this is trapping all of my body's heat. And so I get kind of in my own head.
Because now you live in Texas where tomorrow it's going to be 99 degrees.
And so, so I'm getting hot right now, so I'm not going to be able to make it the whole episode, but I'm trying. I'm trying to step into a hat era. I'm not a hat guy.
Struggle.
I'm not a hat guy.
Yesterday you wore athletic-y more one, which was more breathable.
Yeah, it's more
Which is what you got to do. You got to have your summer hats and your winter hats. That's probably what you had in Michigan too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, what were we talking about? Other than hats, Tom around town, keep tomming around.
Tomming around.
Oh, we've been doing a lot around here.
Dude, so many things. So we have had house party recently.
Yes.
That was
amazing.
The greatest thing ever. We baptized 46 people.
That's right.
46?
46, yep.
We did a bunch of baby dedications. amazing testimonies. And it's one of my favorite days. We do it a couple times a year because you get to hear the stories of life change.
Right. I was going to say, we don't just do baptisms where 46 people got dunked. They all did get dunked, but we also give each person at least 2 to 3 minutes to just share what God's been doing in their life. And what you said. So that day, the sermon is the testimonies.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, we started this, golly, years ago.
Yeah, years.
I was trying to think about it the other day, how long it's been, at least probably almost 7 years ago. Well, right? 6 or 7 years ago. And it's just been such a beautiful thing to see that as the transformation of the church. Yeah, the house parties. And so 46 people, all different stories, all different walks of life, all different seasons of life, and just the beauty of who God is bringing in the house and what he's doing in their life. It was so refueling to my heart and to my mind. And then to have just come after Easter was such a cool, like, we're getting to do this really cool thing that we love and dream to do. Like, it's very cool.
You know, I've been a part of some really big churches in the past.
Yeah.
And so they would do baptism Sundays once a year.
Oh,
and like when you do it once a year, then you're baptizing like 400 people or something. Right. And it just becomes very mechanical. Mm-hmm. There's not a personal moment. There's just like in the tank, music super loud. Pastor's like, do you believe in Jesus? Yes. Name of the Father, Son, dunk, picture taken, get out.
Yeah.
And there's no like profession of faith. Mm-hmm. And so I don't really know how we keep doing it.
I don't either.
I don't know what it
turns into.
Yeah, it turns into, but I want it to stay personal.
Yeah.
I want it to stay intimate, or so that people have a moment that when they're getting baptized, they're not a part of our thing. We're a part of their thing.
Right.
You know?
No, 100. This Sunday, I was standing with Aaron in the lobby, and a lady came up and just said, hey, I just wanted to say thank you again for Baptism Sunday. It really made a huge difference in my last week of my life. And it's like, we say it, but like it's this moment, this line in the sand. But because what you're saying, they're giving their own public profession of their faith, not just the act of the dunking, but the words. I mean, there's life and death in the power of our tongue. Yeah. And them being able to publicly declare in front of their friends and family,
I'm drawing a line.
I'm drawing a line. Today is different. Here's what happened before, but here's who I am new in Christ. There's something very real and tangible that takes place in their life. And We've had different iterations of how it works. In the past, we've had to have some testimony videos and some other things to kind of fill the gap in space to make a full service. But this time, it was like, that's all we got time for. And as we keep growing and as things keep going, who knows? We did it outside one time ago or whatever. Yeah. This is our first time to do the 2 tanks on the stage. Yeah. So it's different, but it's kind of cool to see. We don't know where God will take it, but it's going to be awesome, right?
It was a beautiful day. So if you were here for that, glad you were. If you weren't, what are you doing? Get your butt to church.
I know a couple people that are just waiting till next time, and that's okay, but they're going to do it.
To what? Get baptized?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant if you weren't there to watch.
Oh, well, that too. But there were some people that...
What do we do? Do we cut both services and put them together and put them on YouTube?
Yeah,
okay, so that all the testimonies are out there?
Correct, yes.
Do we have any funny things happen this time? One time we were baptizing this lady, and I was in the tank, and we used to have these shirts. They were real light orange. Like now our shirts are black. We put them in a black shirt and dunk them. Right. And so we had these light, like thin orange shirts. And so I got this lady, and she's kind of full figured. Yeah. Is that an appropriate?
That's appropriate words.
And so I dunked this lady, and her shirt gets wet. And while she's underwater, I see through her shirt her polka dot bra. And I'm like, I got to bring her up.
But now everybody's going to see.
But now everybody's going to see this polka dot bra this lady's got on. And so I'll bring her up in polka dot city. And
I don't know what
so we had to change the shirts to black shirts.
Yeah, I don't know what our thought process was.
We like to do, well, what
you
we
and
used
I
to do.
were not in charge of those, were we?
It was the first time.
Oh, that's what it was.
It was Terry Burleson's time that he got baptized first time. And so we had another guy who was doing all of our graphic stuff, and it was like every event had a color, which is like, I get it, but we just have scrapped that, and like red is our theme color.
Right now, our theme color.
And so everything was like a different color, and so somehow baptism Sunday was orange.
Is it because blue and orange are complementary colors? That's probably why.
Yeah,
water and orange, I guess.
And so. So
we learned a lesson there.
So I always laugh.
No, yeah. I don't think there was no crazy
We had a guy, Johnny got baptized.
Oh, Johnny got baptized.
Johnny got one leg. What's up, Johnny?
That's right.
And they dropped him.
This
is what I heard.
They did not drop him.
A-Rod dropped him.
No.
That's what I heard.
Johnny is freaking strong.
Yeah, he is.
And so he is very like, I got it.
Agile.
I'll take care of myself. Like, I can help. And I think just like, guys, sometimes.
They got him up into the tank, and the edge of the baptism tank is like squishy. It's like foam.
Yeah.
And they sat him on it, and he kind of, and so.
But he didn't go under until it was time to go under. So.
Enrique was like, he's trying to baptize himself.
Whatever.
Aaron didn't go do any hardcore double dunks.
No.
Every once in a while, if Aaron knows the guy, he'll straight WWF that Joker.
If he would have got Brandon Kelly, he probably would have. But he got the other Brandon. But when he didn't have Brandon Kelly, he was like, oh, dang, I should have him over here. He probably would have double dunked Brandon Kelly. But it was great. I don't think there was any other. We had some great young kids like in our 4, 5, 6, which are our 4th and 6th graders. And whenever some of our younger ones, if they're under the age of 12, if they get baptized, they write like a letter, an essay. And so they all brought them to me on Thursday at the class, and I got to read them with them. And it was just super cool because they all have their own story. Like we think about kids, like we talk about our story, our testimony, but you know what? They have their stories too. So we had some girls that their grandma has been bringing them to church for the last 7 years, and they wrote about how God's faithfulness in their life, through loving them, through allowing their grandma to be their influence in their life. It was just so beautiful. And like these kids are declaring like, I'm not gonna have to have a hard luck story of finally finding Jesus in my 30s. I'm gonna love him right now.
Love it.
So our house being built on sons and daughters, it's just been beautiful to see. So from every age, all the way to, we had some men in their 70s who had never really taken the step to be baptized. But finally we're like, I've got to do this. I've got to take this next step. So wow, it was very cool.
Then what? Then did I preach a week, or then we go right into Mother's Day?
No, then we went right into Mother's Day.
Then we went right into Mother's Day.
That was
and this was this last week. Pastor Whitney knocked it out of the park.
It was good, yeah.
And it's fantastic. She had some one-liners in there that are going to be future episodes that I've pulled.
I'm glad you wrote them down.
Dude, I was like, we got to talk about that.
And then
passed out flowers.
Had a
little donkey carriage in the lobby.
Yes.
That's what it looked like, a little donkey carriage carrying flowers around cobblestones.
Yes, that's what I thought of. Like, what is the Beauty and the Beast? That's what it made me think of. You probably never watched that movie as a kid.
I had a guy I didn't like who used to always call me Gaston.
Oh.
I didn't like that guy, and then he called me Gaston.
Why would he call you Gaston?
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen Beauty and the Beast. I just know that
he eats 5 dozen eggs every morning to help me feel strong.
Yeah.
And you're strong.
Yeah.
So he was jealous of you.
He was a little man.
Yeah. He was trying to make fun of you, but actually,
I was like, what? All I did was see a picture of him. I'm like, this dude's a stud.
Right. What do you even? What? Oh,
yeah.
weird.
But I didn't know what to do.
No, that's fine. You just
Should we tell him the awkward thing that happened to me this week?
The face thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was weird. Yeah. I had a
guy. We had to go. We had a meeting, a dinner, like a night meeting, and so we were really grabbing food really fast in between the 2 meetings that we had. And this guy walks up, but he's like this.
He's like staring me down. Oh, do you think it's like that?
No, not like attractive. Just like looking at you like, huh?
Yeah.
Who you be? Why do I think I know you? Maybe you're somebody. Like, but he was like nervous. But then he said it.
Then he says, "Hey man, you got a famous face."
And then
like,
you
what?
You kind of looked at him like, huh? And he says, you got a face of a famous person. And you said, not yet.
I was like, I didn't know why it was he worded it so odd
he said
that I
weird.
was weirded out by him. I was like, I'm about to get.
Are you saying I look like a famous person, or are you saying I am a famous person? Are you asking if I'm a famous person? It was very.
You want to know why it's shook me?
Why?
Because the last time someone equated me to a famous person, it was, in my opinion, a great insult. So I'm on an airplane. Just minding my own business.
I love you.
And these 2 big black ladies get on the airplane, and they stop and they go, "It's him. It's you." She's hitting her friend. "It's him. It's the cake boss. Hey, it's the cake boss." And I'm sitting in my seat like, I will kill both of y'all and everybody on this airplane. I'm not the cake boss.
Right.
I had a little like soul patch goatee looking thing. And so I'm like, if this fool calls me the cake boss.
So 7-year-old, tiny, trusting in your heart was like, am I about to get insulted?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, 100%. I'm waiting for the like.
Really?
Yeah, I'm waiting. I had a guy introduce me once as fat Vin Diesel.
Oh my, people are the worst.
I was going to preach.
No.
I'm literally, and next up we have Pastor Trustin. He's from more church, blah. You know what I call him? Fat Vin Diesel. Come on, Pat. And he's like, ha, 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 ha. And then I'm like, have the mic, and I'm like, that really kind of just hurt my feelings, and I could stomp you into the earth, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always those people.
Yeah.
That you're like, you know what?
We left that association.
That culture. Okay.
Look, see, it started to make me hot. Am I red now?
Yeah, you got a little red there. What? People are the worst. Okay, no,
We're 15 minutes in talking about nothing.
Sorry, but
Sorry, guys.
I thought when he said it, I was waiting for the, are you on da-da-da show?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you a part of the way he was looking at you? That's what I thought.
Are you the roofer from Property Brothers?
Do you? Yeah, I don't know. But what else? That's all.
All
okay,
right, guys,
so
love y'all.
yes,
Hope that you're enjoying Tug of War.
that's right.
We say this at the end. Oh, remember we talked about we're going to have people do commercials
yeah,
for
we
us?
forgot about it.
We haven't done it.
No.
We're hoping that you're following
Yep.
along the Tug of War, that you're liking and commenting and subscribing,
Yep.
because it's going to help all of the things.
Right.
And so be sure to do that. And then if you have any questions, hit us up. Like, one of our favorite things to do is answer specific questions that you guys have about life, about leadership, about ministry, about your relationship with
Right.
Jesus, whatever.
Because we got ideas for days. Like we
got
got
ideas for days, but we wanna speak
we would
to
rather
practical
speak
things.
to what everybody wants to be spoken to.
Okay, ready?
Oh, also,
I have a note.
people
Okay.
be liking the one about the Emperor's New Clothes. A lot of people be liking that one.
Yeah, they did.
If you haven't listened to it, you should. Oh, they're all, because nobody wants to be naked walking down the street.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Nobody wants to be naked walking down the street, but
I mean, some people do, but they get a sex offender profile.
yeah, but no, those people are not on the tug team. They're not allowed to be. But
They're a Mardi
nobody
Gras.
is willing. A lot of times, we're not willing to either ask or we're not willing to speak, so that
Yeah.
other people around us won't be. And so I've had so many people tell me, "Hey, I'm so thankful for this episode." Da, da, da. The other one, Kill Pleasant Church. That's the other one I've gotten the most messages about recently.
Okay.
That they really, it's super healing for them.
To church people.
To church people.
To like
A lot of people.
wounded church people.
From other churches that we know have come here and have said, hey, we had some brokenness, but being here where y'all are
Killing Pleasant Church.
Then I also had someone on Mother's Day text me and said, really? It's Mother's Day? You couldn't just have Pleasant Church in the message for one Sunday?
Oh,
and
yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
why'd you got to kill me? But it's good. So we're doing a good job.
So, but all of
answering
those are out of
questions.
questions.
Right. We're answering questions that people like, and that helps make the it helps make the podcast what's
Well, I mean, the
best.
sarcasm one was out of a question.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So hit us.
Okay. What are we talking about today?
Well, I want to talk about being tired.
Okay.
Have you ever been tired?
Yeah.
Okay. If you've ever been tired, all of us have been tired.
If you're tugging into more, you've likely found yourself tired at some point.
Okay. But it's important to understand you're tired, because there's different types of tired.
Mm-hmm.
And the older I'm getting, the more I have to identify, like, which tired am
Yes.
I? Because the kind of tired I am determines the type of rest I need.
Correct.
Because if I'm this tired but I rest this way, it doesn't fix that tired.
Right. Well, you and I are really cute if you go back into the iterations of the tug of war.
Yes.
Like, we have grown so much
Yes.
and also I like to tell us that we're cute. But
Should we put in our picture that we saw this week? Or are you embarrassed of it?
No, I'm not embarrassed. It's a picture.
Here's me and Whitney.
I think that's 2019. I think it's before the pandemic.
We've learned a lot since these cute little
sad people.
Yeah,
look,
cute little-
we look rough, but that's okay.
Yeah.
The conversation of trying to learn how to rest.
Yeah, it's been a
It has
theme.
been a continual theme and a continual look. It made my eye twitch. It's been a continual theme of like how we're learning to rest, to recover from tired, to what is it? You said it to me yesterday. To operate from rest, than to operate for rest.
Instead of chasing to get rested, just living rested.
And so tired, I mean, I would say what was percentage? 75% of the time when you ask someone how they are,
I'm tired.
I'm doing good, but I'm tired.
Yeah. It's the new
Busy.
It's the new busy.
Yeah.
I said in a sermon years ago, busy is the new stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if someone says, how are you? And you say, I'm busy, you might as well say I'm stupid. But like, I was preaching to myself and I like
100.
beat myself up when I said that.
Yeah.
And I think tired is in that same camp.
Yeah.
Like, if someone says, hey man, what's going on? And your answer has been tired for the last year.
Right.
Then this is going to be the podcast for you.
Yeah.
Then you need to work it out.
Yeah.
I love him or hate him. Michael Todd did a message that shifted some stuff for me. Years ago, he did a message called Cuffed to Constant. And I have a long story that
I was going to say, that's been a minute, right?
Yeah. And so Cuffed to Constant, and then a friend of mine, Joel Tudman, I went and heard him preach, and he talked about rest. And like these two moments for me were the beginning of like, dude, you got to get this fixed.
Yeah.
Because you're wearing tired as a badge of honor.
Right.
You're wearing exhausted as like, I'm a soldier for the Lord and I'm bleeding my guts out. But God didn't call us to like a life of exhaustion. No, there are seasons.
For sure.
You got to freaking run.
Right.
But like, that shouldn't just be a year of your life.
He literally started the earth by modeling rest for us.
Yes.
It was a mandate. It was a 10 commandment.
Yeah.
And yet we never I've never in my life, even till today, never given rest as much respect as I gave murder.
Put some respect on my name.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The 10 commandments, I'm never going to murder, even stealing, which is maybe even a little more of a petty crime.
Yeah.
I've never put
one of the 10 commandments.
Honor the Sabbath.
Honor the Sabbath. Take a day off.
Keep it holy. Like, I've never given that as much respect.
Right.
In fact, I twisted it for a lot of years because I work for God on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And I am whole. I do keep it
And
holy
he's the
by
energizer.
being a pastor. Like, and so, yeah.
I have still a action figure of the Juggernaut in my office. The Juggernaut is a like super villain.
Who runs through walls. That's what I know.
And his thing is he's unstoppable momentum. Once he moves, nothing can stop his momentum. And this was the mantra I'd created in myself. I'm the Juggernaut. Until I hit a wall that I couldn't break through. And I realized, you're not the Juggernaut.
Right.
You're just a human being.
Right.
You don't have superpowers. You have to learn how to rest. Okay, so let's do a couple whoosh, and we'll just tag some of our episodes we've done. Ready? Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. There we go. That's proof.
Yes.
We've done, those are some episodes that we've already done on rest.
Right.
If you want to hear the biblical perspective, if you want to hear a little bit more of our journey.
Right.
Because like we've really broke down.
I mean, multiple times,
Rest.
different places and spaces. And that's what I'm like, I haven't listened to one of our earlier ones in a long time. And so I bet that we would probably even disagree with some of the stuff we said then because we've just matured more in the understanding. Because when we used to talk about rest, we used to argue about it a little bit and not even argue with each other, but argue with our own selves.
Yeah.
Because it was like, but rest, but not too much, but don't be lazy. But then
We
it
would
was
qualify
like, we would,
Greatly
super qualified.
Yeah.
And now we've recognized like, hey, the world we live in needs rest.
Yeah.
Even the lazy people, they just need the right kind of rest. They need the right kind of healing from their tiredness.
Well, Rachel said something to us that I think healed our perspective with that. Rachel, because we would talk to Rachel and Aaron, who are much better at resting than we are as people.
As
and
humans.
They're more peaceful.
Right. They're more
people.
intentional.
Anytime people ask, so is Whitney your wife? We're both like, no. We would freaking drive each other in the ground. We would
literally
die.
Dead. Right. Correct.
But like God partnered us with people that are more centered and rested.
Yes, correct.
And so we were talking about this one day all together, and Rachel, she started laughing. And she's like, you guys are so funny that you're nervous you're going to start resting too much.
Right.
She's like, have you met y'all? Like, this is, don't worry about something that you've never, ever, ever even kind of done halfway well.
Yes. It's like we were afraid that we would become Coke addicts. Like, if I just taste it, then I'm going to love it so much.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that is not the same thing. Rest is it's a spiritual discipline.
Right.
It's not an addiction that you're going to acquire. And so it's like,
especially if you're leaning towards workaholic.
Yes. If you are a type personality that we are.
Okay. Types of tired.
Types of tired.
There's physically
Physical
tired.
is the first, easiest, and the one that you and I thought in the beginning was all it was.
What do we want to do? Do we want to list them and then bat them around?
Sure.
Or do you want to bat them around?
No, list them. That's
Okay,
what you
so
want
there's
to do.
physical.
I can see it.
I don't know. There's
It's good.
physically tired. Then there's like relationally tired.
Okay.
This is like,
Yep.
I've been around a lot of people.
Yeah. What people would call the extrovert introvert thing, right?
Yeah. Then there's emotionally tired.
Yes.
Okay. That is like, cried, funeral. You know what I mean? Like,
Lots
oh my God, that's a lot of
decisions that are internal
stuff. I think there's creatively tired.
Yes.
At least for me, like in what we
100%.
do, I'm squeezing my brain to get ideas out. There's creatively tired.
And then there's mentally tired. It's a different than the creatively tired. I think that you and I make decisions on a daily basis.
Right.
And there's times where it's like, I can't make one more decision.
Right.
Like we talk about, sorry, we're listening. Let's go on to the next one.
No, I don't know. Is there
and then I think spiritually tired.
Oh, yep.
Because there's been times where I'm spiritually exhausted because I've not rested it correctly.
Now, the problem with what we just did is we're not going to remember them all. How many did you have? 6?
6. I got him.
Okay.
Okay, physically.
Okay, so physically tired, we are humans that live
Yes.
in flesh bodies.
Right.
And so, like, there's moments that we get exhausted. If you don't sleep well,
If you don't get enough sleep at night, you're exhausted.
if you're eating bad,
Right.
your body is going to feel junky, and so you're going to be tired.
Right. Physical rest is a necessary part of life.
Right.
Literally, every night we have to sleep. Our body, what is it? If you stay awake for 3 days, you'll die or something.
Yeah,
It's like you have to actually sleep and rest your body or you'll physically be injured.
And so that's a piece. Like when we have here at the church, when we have a full week and then 3 events on the weekend and then a Sunday and then we're physically tired. Like we're all getting ready to go to camp.
Yes.
And so like there's a week lead up to camp to
Yep.
pack. Then the week of camp, you're not sleeping any. And then you got to get back, unpack.
Right.
And then probably got to do church like that.
Right.
And then we're all going to be physically tired. Now, guess
Right.
what? We still love Jesus.
Right.
We still care about our spouses.
Right.
We still, all these things, but our bodies are just kind of worn out.
Yeah.
And so, and really, I think the older you get, the more you have to account for that. Because like when I was 20.
And I don't want to admit it, but it's true.
Oh yeah, I don't want to admit that. But when I was 20, I physically was the juggernaut.
Right.
And kind of even mentally.
Right.
Now, I was not wise.
Right.
I did not have the wisdom I have now.
Right.
But I could just,
Keep
the
going.
train could just keep going, shoveling some more pizza, and I'm doing jobs.
Well, I think about McKinley for 2 years in a row. Prom was the same weekend as Mother's Day or something something, and she would just go and be up so late and then come to church, and now she would crash later, but because she's a young person, she could handle
it.
Where me right now, if I tried to stay up till 2 a.m. and then sleep and then get up at 5,
and then be nice all day.
no way. No, not possible. Even for a day. Like I used to be like, I can do this for a week and then I'm fine. And I think the older I am like my circadian rhythm or whatever. I would stay up later and get up later. My husband would get up earlier and go to bed earlier. That's like, we've always been a little off in that, where we had to find the happy medium. But the older I've gotten, the more like I used to stay up till 1 a.m. when I was in my 20s, and that was like no problem to get up at 7 and go do the rest of my life. But now it's like, if I'm not in bed or at least thinking about it by 10:30, the rest of the next day is a mess. Like I have to be intentional about sleep.
So let's talk about physical rest. Hopefully we can do all this in one episode.
I know. I'm like, oh shoot.
Can do two. Are you doing habits that are helping you be physically rested?
Right.
Are you resting well? Are you sleeping enough? Are you putting this devil box down?
Right.
You're putting your phone down at a reasonable time to actually go to sleep. I promise y'all, before I started getting on my health journey and losing weight and doing some things, I had to have a 9:50 p.m. alarm on my phone to tell me to go to bed. And at 9:50, I would turn the TV off. I would put the phone down. I'd take my contacts out, brush my teeth, get in the bed by 10.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm waking up at 6 to go to the gym. And if I didn't go to sleep, I wouldn't get up.
Right.
And like, that was a very hard discipline that took me, because when I was young, I was just staying up till 1 o'clock watching TV, doing stupid stuff.
Right.
Me and Rachel just on the couch wasting 3 hours watching stupid stuff on television or watching a movie or scrolling on whatever. You've got to treat yourself and to go to sleep.
Well, and even like I've had to learn trying to be consistent now in the workout and in like the daily life. Like Tuesdays is our day that is staff meeting. So we're here right at the start. We start the day, do the thing. And last night we went to bed a little bit late because we stayed up talking with McKinley about some things. And I like made the predetermined decision. Okay, I guess I'm going to get up at this time, go to the gym in the afternoon instead of the morning, because I'm going to make sure I'm rested, because I know that last week I was physically not as rested as I could be, or this last weekend. And it's like to me now, it's a weird decision that I would never have normally done, but it's like I've had to implement these like predetermined decisions about when I go to sleep, but also when I wake up, or when I plan my physical exertion, so that, because when you were young, you could go to the gym 7 days a week. Well, now if I don't have a rest day, I might injure myself.
For sure.
There's real physical exhaustion that's important. And I think depending on your age and depending on where you are, you need to pay attention to it. Because these younger ones, like, don't play video games till 2 a.m. Then be surprised why you can't go to the gym. Like, you've got to find the right physical rest for you.
And learn that. Turn the lights in the room off. Turn the temperature in the house down. Put the blue screen out of your face.
Absolutely.
I know you want to keep playing that game or keep scrolling Instagram, but it's a discipline. And like, rest until you put it in as a discipline, you're not going to be rested. You're just going to keep saying you're tired your whole life.
Well, and you and I, we both had to learn this. I was just thinking. So I know some people on the tug team that are nurses or have like a swing shift schedule. And like, if you're a swing shift, you don't get home from work until after 11, or like you and I had a meeting last night. And in the past, if we would have like a Sunday night meeting or whatever, I would try to go to bed immediately after I get home or something. I couldn't do it. My brain was still spooled up. And so I've learned. So last night when I got home, I was like, let's go on a walk for just 20 minutes. I just need to physically.
Same. I took the dog on a walk last night.
Yes, I just needed to physically wind down. Yeah. And I think that if you are trying to get in a physical rest pattern, look at your actual daily life pattern, your job pattern, because not everybody has a 9 to 5, or you have different things, and find the ways. What you're saying is, how do you physically rest? Well, it's not always just laying down.
Yeah.
Like for me, I had to put in new patterns, put my phone away, turn the light off, stop watching TV at certain times, go on a walk.
Yeah.
So I didn't have restless legs while I'm trying to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Go buy a new mattress.
Don't eat after 8 p.m.
I want to talk about that just a little bit. Now, don't let me stay on it too long.
Okay.
But like, if you're eating junk.
Oh, it's real, bro.
Listen, friends, I love you so much. If you're eating junk and you're over your mid-30s, you're not going to sleep well.
No.
I used to be able to eat a whole pizza and 3 Whoppers and lay on concrete and sleep all night.
Yeah.
That's not the story anymore.
No.
And so like the other day, I have an admission. Have I already talked about this?
The Oreos?
Yeah. Did I talk about it here? Or did I just tell you?
I think so.
Rachel bought
remember.
Oreos, but they're like the H-E-B brand.
Yeah.
And I found them. She had them hidden in a thing, and I found them. And I ate a third of the thing. And dude, it ruined like 3 days of my life.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't sleep. My back hurt. And I've learned if I eat Hawaiian sweet rolls, I'm going to be stiff. Like, you've just got to learn.
Oaxaca cheese?
Oaxaca cheese is a whole other thing. But like, you've got to learn like that pasta Alfredo is going to make you stiff.
Right.
And like, you're going to be snoring and bad digestion.
We went for Easton and Jerry, Aaron's dad. They have birthdays like 3 days apart, and we went to Papacitos for their birthday, but it was long and they took long, and we didn't get home till like 9 something, and then we just tried to like get in bed, and that night was so miserable. And I'm like, one, I didn't walk around and let my food digest at all. I was still eating fajitas at like 8:57.
Right.
You know, like, no, what? And it's a very real thing. If you're eating Doritos, if you're, you know.
And because you're tired, you drink coffee in the morning, and then you're exhausted at 4:30, so then you take an energy drink or whatever, but then the energy drink's keeping you up too late, so then you can't go to sleep, and so you're just up because you had caffeine too late.
That tea last night got me a little bit. That good tea that we had. Oh, yeah. Because it was after 5. I'm really crazy about it now.
So, guys, physical is a big one.
It's big.
Is that enough?
That's good. We did it.
Okay, what's our next one?
Physical, then...
Relational?
Relational is the one you said, next. Whew, that's a good one.
Sometimes I get relationally tired.
Yeah.
From all the talking and all of the interaction and like being on.
Yeah.
And so... like Sunday is a great example that on Sundays I'm greeting the team in the morning and doing the rally and hey, how are you? And talking to the prop team and talking to the creative team and seeing everybody in the lobby, and I'm smiling and I'm locked in and I'm saying hi to all the safety guys I walk past. And I'm like doing my best to be engaged with people. And then I while I'm preaching, I walk 5 miles between the two services on stage in that little space. My watch is counting, and like all this movement. And by the time I get home, like I love Rachel.
Right.
I just am like, can I not have any humans by me?
Yeah.
And so there's a relational exhaustion.
No, when my kids were young, and my husband was flying planes, when he would come home, there was this like, I have had a kid with me on me for days at a time. I haven't had any alone time. And it was starting to really affect us. And I was like very snippy and short and all things. And then I realized I just need quiet for like, if I can just literally go on a walk for 45 minutes, or can I just have some peace and stillness of where I don't have to talk or think or engage, then that will actually reset me. And I've learned the same is true the older I've gotten of like, whether it's Friday, spending some time Sabbath, whether we've had a busy weekend and I just need to take some time Monday morning, like having some actual, and you are similar to me in that like podcasts, I like to listen to things, but I've had to learn that even sometimes,
No,
when I'm relationally tired, I can't listen to anything.
Yeah.
I need to be in like solitude.
I do not need to watch a Rambo movie right now.
Right. I need to be in silence, in like serenity. I'll go sit by our pool, has like a fountain bubbler where it's just the sound of like shh. And it's a very real thing that because of my personality, is outgoing. And I would have said a long time ago that I'm extroverted, but I've realized like I'm a little bit introverted as an extrovert, that I must recharge in some silence, or I suddenly become a bear. And it's okay to admit that. I didn't want to admit it for a long time.
But, okay, so we're getting into the two different types.
Yeah.
If you're relationally tired, but you think you're physically tired, you will do things that are resting your body, but might not be resting you relationally.
Right.
And then you're not actually getting rejuvenated.
Correct.
And so you have to understand which one to meet that one.
Right. Sometimes we're relationally tired in the types of relationships. And so like there's times where you have to spend specific time with specific people to recharge that other relational things. Like when we've walked through some different heavy seasons of different things, it's like, hey, we just need to go to dinner and laugh about something that has nothing to do with that at all, because otherwise we're only pointing at this all the time. And like, it's not just always solitude and silence. Sometimes it's recharging the way, being able to just be with people that are comfortable and be able to laugh rather than being in what you were saying, on mode.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but finding what works for you is important.
And not being aware that you're relationally tired is unfair to those that you love.
Right, for sure.
Because when I'm unaware of it,
Right.
then I'm just kind of a jerk to those that I'm closest to.
Right.
But if I can just be like,
Identify.
man, I just need a minute. And like Rachel, someday she'll have a long day with the kids, and I'll get home and she'll be like, I just need to go walk around Target. I'm like, okay. And so she goes and she's able to just kind of be alone and not be mom and not be pastor and not be wife. And she's just some chick walking around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's important.
It's important.
So realizing that one.
Physical, relational. What was the next one? Emotional or?
Yeah, we can do emotional.
Was that the one you said?
I don't know.
I forgot the order. Spiritual. No, emotional's first. Yeah, let's go emotional.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Emotional, then mental, then spiritual. Then there was one more. You
Creative.
said. Creative. Oh yeah.
Emotional.
Okay.
Exhaustion. Sometimes we carry heavy things.
Yeah.
And it taxes us, not physically, but it taxes us emotionally, that our internal heart is beating at a higher rhythm. Like in the same way that if you run on a treadmill, your heart rate goes up, something happens internally, emotionally, that like when you have to see that person, when you have to deal with that topic, like right now, I can sit down and write a sermon and I am not nervous about it. I'm not stressed about it. It doesn't cost me anything emotionally. But you start talking to me about the land that we're selling and negotiating that deal, something there in me is emotionally invested that it costs me something. And we get tired emotionally and we have to be aware of it. And like, none of us would expect our bodies to run 100 miles without a nap.
Correct.
We would not expect
Right.
that. But emotionally, it's really hard to gauge how many miles we've ran
It's super hard.
in our emotions. And so because there's not that, like, what's this thing called? Pedometer?
Yeah, that's right. Pedometer.
There's not a pedometer of your emotions as easily. You don't realize, like, because I had this conversation with my mom,
Right.
and this happened with my kid, and this happened at work, and I saw this on Facebook. There was this person who used to be mean to me. You don't realize that you're tired, you're exhausted emotionally because there's no step counter.
Well-
and then all of a sudden you are a jerk or you're shut down and sad, but it's just because you're tired emotionally.
Well, this is what I think we learned really hard in 22 and 23 of 2022 and 2023 of, like, we'd already gone through the pandemic, which was its own level of emotions, like, and carrying the weight of all the things. But then when we were carrying a lot with trying to find a building, trying to figure out the land, trying to figure out a lot of emotional, relational staff pieces, all these different things. And it was like, oh, we're taking a break. I'm taking a vacation. Oh, but it was like, no, the emotional exhaustion has now completely depleted, but we have not properly replenished that. And just taking a day off here or there is not going to do the task. And so, like, some seasons of emotional exhaustion, like, that's where counseling is important. Like a place where you can go, because I'm like, how do you heal emotional or how do you emotionally rest? And some of those is finding the proper places to process it and to place it, or sitting with some people that you care about, that you know care about you, and being able to say, hey, I need help putting this down, because it's hard. Emotional rest is hard to acquire.
Yeah, we did the episode Dump the Trailer. Dump the Trailer. We talked about that. And, like, we get all the stuff going on in us emotionally, and we've got to set that down somewhere. And so, like, ways that you can rest if you're emotionally exhausted is, talk to trusted friends. Talk to God about it.
Yeah.
Spend some time in worship.
Yeah.
Spend some time in solitude. Like today in our staff, we had Devo this morning on Tuesday. And then at the very end, I said, hey, you know what? I feel like we just need 15 minutes. Don't even turn worship music on. We just need 15 minutes to just, like, sit and hear what God's speaking to us, an idea. And, like, that's not new agey. That's real Jesus-y.
Correct.
Like, I'm not saying some kumbaya, get your chakra together.
No.
I'm saying, like, just sometimes emotionally, we have to just go before God and be like, hey, God, I'm emotionally, like, tapped.
Absolutely.
Here's what's happened. You said I could cast my cares on you.
Absolutely.
And so here.
Right.
And would you rejuvenate to me? You said that you would return what's been stolen. And I feel like this has been stolen from me. Would you return to me what you have? God, I need you to give me emotional rest. And he will.
He will.
And it's not like an energy drink. It's not like you're going to walk out of prayer like, yeah. It's just that God will start to settle peace in you and start to give you a firm foundation that isn't shook as hard.
It's really good. It's true. And just being aware of when you've had to give a lot of emotional energy.
That's good.
Is really important. I've had a few, like, heavy things over the last few months, and I wanted to rebound from thing to thing to thing. Like each thing, oh, it's done now, so I should rebound. Oh, but now I'm facing this thing. Oh, but it's over, so I should rebound. And I didn't realize the quantity of emotions that were building up. They might be different emotions, and it might be different
towards different people,
different situations, different things. But because I didn't put it all down yet, they were actually building, and it was becoming heavier than it needed to be. And so tired became a feeling that was like, whew, I am emotionally tapped, is what I kept saying. But it was like, oh, it's because you've got all of these different pieces and you had zero recovery in between, and they just compounded upon each other. And so, like, you have to recognize that and then be able to, like, time out. Like, I've got to have a timeout in those moments, or else eventually just break. Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm emotionally tired, I just have to communicate to my circle that I'm a little, like, emotionally vulnerable.
Right.
And so I'll just tell Rachel, like, hey, babe, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
And, like, she'll know that.
Right.
And so she's able to
help.
Be aware.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that I turn into a couch potato. It means that, like, she just I need her to know. I'll tell my friends. I'll tell the staff. I mean, how many times have I called you and Tim and Enrique in and just cried and been like, I just need y'all to pray for me. I just need to tell you what's going on.
I just need somebody to know.
And so are you emotionally tired? Because emotionally tired does not need 4 more hours of sleep.
Right.
Emotionally tired needs another form of rejuvenation. You know what else it doesn't need? Just more movies. Right. Or more podcasts. So I was gonna say, right. Or more like stressful content. I remember when we were in that 2022-2023 season after everything, I was watching, I've talked about this before, but I was watching a cop TV show. I used to watch this police TV show, and I had it on and I was watching it because that's my pattern. That's right. I watch this show. It's a show that I watch. Right. And I'm watching it and God's like, why are you putting this in? Right. It's about murder and rape and violence and why are you
spooling you up more?
This is spooling you up. This is not helping you detox emotionally. This is like putting gas in the system. You know what you need to do? You need to go and sit in the hot tub. Right. And go to the gym, put some worship music in your headphones, and go and sit there for 30 minutes. Right. And both are enjoyable. I like to watch an action movie. But in that season, that's not what I needed. I needed to emotionally rest.
I think some of our rest is what we used to say active rest. Some of our tireds require active resting. Yeah. And that's one of the ones that it's not just take a nap and it's not just veg and Netflix forever. Yeah. There's an action involved in it, and that depends on what it is, to how you process it. But you had to leave your house, go sit somewhere peaceful. It requires a little bit of an action. And so therefore, finding the right active rest for the type of tired, it's important. Yeah. Okay. What are the next one is
physical, creative, relational, emotional.
Yeah. Creative, mental, or
let's do mental.
Okay.
Mental rest. They sound real similar, but they're worlds apart. There are days that, there's so many decisions or meetings or conversations that I've had to go home and genuinely I put an ice pack on my head. Yeah. Like an old, grandma smells like red rubber bands ice pack, and I put it on my head because it just feels like I'm mentally spent.
And it's not.
And do you know why that happens? Because I don't take care of myself for a month. Right. That never happens because of one hard day. No. That happens because of 15 hard days that I'm not taking care of myself, and then all of a sudden I blow a gasket and I overheat. Right. That doesn't mean I'm yelling and screaming. It means that I'm just can't form. I got scrambled egg brains.
Well, it's I think about when you're in school or when you're studying for a test or when you're studying for maybe a certification or something. I know a lot of nurses right now that are in nursing school, there's this propensity in us to just say, I just need one more study session. I just need one more. And sometimes, no, what you need to do is put the books away and go just read a book about a mystery novel. You need to shift your mental energy and actually replenish your brain, because you cannot solve another problem. You cannot answer another question. You need to just do something that's where one of those Netflixes, to me, the mental rest sometimes
it's
is
an escape.
An escape. I need to go see. The other day, Aaron had a really rough day at work. I think I maybe told it here. I don't remember. And I just was and I hardly ever do this, but I was like, hey, is there a movie playing? Let's go. And we went and watched a movie because it was just you need an escape from. Otherwise, all you're going to do is stew on this problem you're trying to solve. And the fact of the matter is, there's no right answer today, right now.
Put it down.
Put it down.
There's nothing you can do.
Stop doing it. And you have to give your brain a rest and a break. And sometimes turning everything off is actually not the right thing.
Yeah, if you can't calm it down, then sometimes what you should do is distract it.
Yeah, yeah. Which
now,
then
insert God in the middle of that every time.
100%, always.
But I have a little game I play on my phone. It's a little puzzle game. And every once in a while, I'll just be writing a sermon. I'll be 3 hours in, and I'll be like, right. And once I do that, I'm like, and I'll pull out my game, and I'll win 2 levels. Right. Then I'll go back to writing my message. Or on Sundays, I'll preach a service, and then I'll walk in the lobby for a few minutes, and then I'll come, and there's a YouTube guy that every week on Sunday morning he posts a video, and in between service I'll come and watch his 8-minute YouTube video. In between, and it just is like you're okay.
Yeah, you got this.
You're all right.
No, it's good. And okay, next is creative rest.
If you're a creative person, right, you're creating any form of content, that is taxing.
Yeah.
That's something coming out of you. And so I've learned that you can only squeeze the orange so often until it dries up. And so we kind of made a hard, fast rule for me that I'm not going to preach more than 6 Sundays in a row.
Right. And even 6 is
like what happened.
Yeah. Or it's just like some super series that you're like really bought into.
Yeah. And so because, I mean, by the end of 4 weeks in a row, you're kind of in Groundhog's Day.
Absolutely.
Of like Bible study and like writing and like getting the words and making the notes and staring at this Word doc. You know what I mean? And it just kind of becomes, and then you start competing with your week before. And is that better? Or am I outdoing? And it starts to just get kind of jumbled.
Yeah.
And creatively, you start grasping.
Well, and when your job is creative, I think that also sometimes I've learned there's other creative outlets that, because like on a week that you're preaching, you and I can come and knock out for a week that you need creative rest. You and I could come knock out 4 podcasts and it would not steal from you creatively.
Right.
Because sometimes you need a different form of creativity. Right. Because we've talked about the whole like, physical rest or physical work for a creative mind and creative work for a physical like work kind of person. But also I think sometimes just giving yourself some other little passion or hobby that is also creative, it gives you a different outlook or a different way to rest your creativity. And sometimes in that new stuff is formed. And go ahead.
A great example of that is, so Whitney preached this week for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And so I knew that I'm off, but I'm about to have a haul here preaching 4 or 3. I don't know.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
And so this week, for our land, we have to mow it all the time.
Yeah.
And our tractor broke down.
Yeah,
we have a big John Deere tractor and it broke down. And I could have called a dozen dudes to go and do it. But sometimes I need get my hands dirty job.
Right.
I need a man working with chain and ratchet straps and driving stuff up on trailers.
I'm a man.
I need one of those days. And so like I called my dad, and me and my dad and Titus, we went and loaded the broken tractor on the thing, and I drove it 45 minutes and I unloaded and talked to the guys, and I'm moving parts around. I'm filthy and sweaty. And like, I know that might sound, dude, that doesn't sound restful. For me, it was creative rest.
Yeah.
It was me accomplishing something.
Right.
But not just behind a computer screen.
Right.
It was me like getting out of my normal, which is a whole other episode we need to do, the 3 places thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, let me just tease it a little bit. But like right now I'm in this weird, like I feel kind of trapped in my own life between 3 places. There's my house, there's the gym, and there's the church. And these are like the only 3 places I go.
Right.
Like, where's Trustin? He's only these 3 places. He doesn't really go anywhere else. I'm like a caged animal in these 3 places. And so like, that's how I feel a little bit in the season. We're bridging the gap. Finances are tight. There's just not like financial freedom right now to do all these other things. And so I feel a little bit like, argh. And so it's like, you know what I need to do? Drive a tractor on a trailer and drive it to Fort Worth.
Right.
It's different.
Right.
I'm doing a different thing, and that's creative rest.
Yeah.
We, the 4 of us, this is years ago. We should do it again. We went on a date night and we were walking around Fort Worth.
Oh, yeah.
And there was this little place that was doing like paint.
Yeah. They now have those like Pino's Palaces or so. I forgot what they're called, where they do like painting nights. But this was not this. This was just like an art gallery that they then also opened. And there was no, like, we did not all 4 paint the same thing. It was like not a painting class. It was like just free paint. Free paint.
And so I don't know. We all go in and we get a little canvas. We paid $20 or something.
It was so random.
And we all start painting. And you know what happened? Me and Aaron locked in.
Like locked.
Me and Aaron like stopped talking, and I'm like, what I painted was not good, but I'm like, for literally an hour and a half, I'm locked in on this thing, and it was great.
Yeah, it was
and
fun.
You know what? While we're speaking of painting, You remember what I got you for your birthday a couple years ago?
Yeah, I suck so bad.
Have you used it once?
One time, McKinley and I painted together.
Lies.
No,
McKinley painted.
Well, she's the one who instigated the situation.
But did you paint?
Yeah. I did with her, but it was not.
Years ago, Whitney's all stressed out, got all this stuff going on in her life, and for her birthday, I went yard.
He did.
I
I'm gonna set it up.
Big brother. I spent Rachel, Baba, and I from our account spent $300 on an easel and a big paint set.
Because I used to paint a lot, and I used to love it.
Bought her all this stuff.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
I
You guys
write her a
convicted
letter
me.
about how I believe in you, and you just need to rest, and this is for you. And she hasn't done it.
Look how sad
It's just all covered in dust.
You're right.
I'm gonna take it back to Michael's.
No,
I need that
I'm so
money.
convicted
I need a
now.
vacation. Give me all that stuff back.
Stupid.
But I'm saying, like, sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we need friends to recognize that we need a
No,
rest.
it's really true.
And they gift us.
Yeah, I was going to go there in a minute too, because all kinds of those times for each other have we had these moments of like, you have to take some time off.
Well, Jeff and Lindsay Key, they're on the tug team. They're the initiators of the Town and Around Town. They sent Rachel and I on a trip.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it was so needed for Rachel and I. Immensely needed.
You didn't know how bad you needed it till you got there. In fact, you probably were like, man, I don't have to go.
But we drove. It was a 12-hour drive. And like, we needed the drive.
Right.
We needed the gas station stops. We needed to just be us and no kids. We needed to go to like decent pizza restaurants and sit and talk. We needed to just be in a cabin with not like great Wi-Fi service.
Yeah.
We just needed it. But we had friends that just kind of like, huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was, and so that's what I'm saying. You need a friend who will buy you an easel.
Yeah.
And you need a friend who will tell you to take some time to rest.
And then last one is spiritual rest.
Okay.
And that's one you and I have like had to figure out in different ways, especially because of our jobs, especially because the Bible can become a prop.
Yeah.
And creatively, but then also spiritually, if I'm only reading the Bible for the next teaching I'm going to do, Devo I'm going to do, sermon I'm going to do, then I'm not actually really taking time to spiritually connect with God. And so in not as bridging the gap seasons, you and I have been better at taking some real sabbatical times where we go and actually take the time to just sit with God, hear from God. I remember you've told it here before. Like the first time you went, you like took all these sticky notes and all these things and you like had this big plan.
Yeah.
And then you realized I'm just not supposed to even put on worship music. I'm not supposed to like.
I was just doing staff meeting by myself alone in the woods with sticky notes.
And it was like,
what am I
no,
doing?
I'm just supposed to walk around in nature and hear from the Lord in or at the water or on a boogie board boogie board and what was a moped that you rented. And it really, the first time you and I both did it was awkward. And now in this season, we're like, when can we ever go again? Like, please, Lord. Because having the alone time, we know some people who go to the monastery and sit with monks, like, and they're silent for 3 days. And that's not necessarily my type of spiritual rest, but for them it is, because it's like, I just need to find time where I can go and spiritually recharge, just me and God. Nobody else, like alone, like silent. And I think that for some of us, especially those of us who it is your job, it can get real convoluted, your relationship with God and your performance of your work. Like, and going, oh, I'm just a daughter. I'm just like, I can still remember the first time I went by myself and I'm driving up this mountain. It's pouring down rain. And this song comes on, Brandon Lake song about talking to Jesus. And I was like, yeah, I'm not talking to you the way I used to because I have so many needs that have not yet been met, have so many questions that I'm trying to solve, and am seeing you as my big boss in the sky instead of my heavenly Father. And so like that's been one that's weird but challenging and necessary. Yes?
Yeah, you nailed it. Out of 100 steps of success, I'm maybe 12 in on understanding this. I'm 12 steps in to a 100-step journey of like really understanding spiritual rest with the Lord because of my vocation. Right. And
it's really difficult.
I've talked about it before. I have a lesson that I've done about how slave soldier son and how the Israelites and they're slaves and then they become soldiers and then they have to step into sonship. And so I have been stuck in soldier mode for like the vast majority of my life.
Right.
Like it's how I view myself and God. God's my general. I'm his soldier.
Right.
And so I take orders. I fight battles. This is what I am.
Yeah.
And like, the reason I say I'm only 12 steps into 100 steps is because like, I know I'm his son. I
100.
know he wants me in the little chair, not as punishment or calling me a dunce.
Theologically,
just 'cause he loves me.
mentally understand
I
it
mentally can greatly articulate it.
Right.
But like in me,
Right.
it's hard.
It's hard.
Because I rest by loading a tractor.
Right.
Like
By still doing.
yeah, I rest
Unto
by
the
doing. I'm doing unto the Lord.
Right.
It's God's tractor.
Right. Right.
And so like I'm still trying to figure out all the way like how to just be a son. Mm-hmm. And like I know he loves me not for who I am, but not for what I do, but for who I am.
Right. Kind of. Except then you get tongue tied in it because Stewie. Like it's hard.
Well,
right.
and because like
Freudian,
I'm a boss, like I'm an employer,
right.
I'm a boss.
Right.
And so like everybody that I love had still better produce.
Right.
Because like if I'm paying you and you're not producing, then I love you, but like I just can't pay you.
Right.
And so I'm like, so if God's my boss and he loves me, and I stop producing, does he just have to cut me from his team?
Right.
Like there's all of this like
which the answer is no, and like, but yes, it can
I'm just
feel
real honest.
No,
like,
I know. I'm
hard.
just saying it's confusing.
It's hard to
right.
spiritually for me sometimes to get in that spiritual rest.
Right.
And yeah,
Well, I've
told the story before about how I forgot my Bible on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
About I'm getting ready early on a Sunday morning. This is like back when we were at the Matlock building.
Yeah.
And I'm about to leave, and I forget my Bible on my nightstand, and so I'm leaving the house, and God, he says to me, I go back to grab my Bible, and God says, yeah, don't forget your prop.
Right.
And it was like the biggest punch in the gut. And it's still, right now,
right.
It's still a punch in the gut. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, yeah, I'm preaching this Bible story in Genesis 25, 26, 27 this week. And like, I've spent time in the Word, but I've spent time in the Word for y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, yes, God sneaks through and speaks to me, but like, it's kind of gross for me to spend 20 hours writing y'all a message and then like fight to carve out 20 minutes to just sit with my heavenly dad and be like, what do you want to teach me about Esau? Because I'm kind of Esau sometimes.
Right.
And I'm kind of Jacob sometimes.
Right.
And I'm the ugly version of both every once in a while. And like, talk to me about that
right.
instead of tell me what to tell them about that.
Right.
It's a wrestling.
It's very difficult.
Is all I'm saying.
No, it's really good. And so finding rest in that way is something, we've still been, in like 2 years we'll go, we were so cute when we were learning about spiritual, like we'll keep navigating it and figuring it. But I think, man, it's difficult. Oh. Okay. Are those the ones?
Yeah,
Have we named them all?
I think so.
Okay.
We got them. But I have one whole other idea that's really the whole reason I want to do the podcast.
Yes. I know.
We're already 62 minutes.
Well.
Okay. So I think the most dangerous thing about being tired is falling into the pattern of I'm tired.
Correct. You said the mindset earlier.
Is the mindset of tired. Because we all get physically tired, emotionally tired, spiritually, whatever. Insert whatever one. That happens to all of us. And sometimes 3 of them happen, or 4 of them happen at once.
I think the mindset comes from that.
Yeah. And the dog pile effect of all of these different 6 types of tired all hit at once. And then we're like in the tired hole. And unless we intentionally climb out of it, we stay in the mindset of tired. And what happens is I see people, me included, who went through a really heavy thing. Let's just talk about our land swap fall through in pig. Let's just insert land swap fall through pig season. It's kind of silly for me to still say I'm tired because of what happened back then.
Right.
But this is what we do.
Well, it's what we did when we first got here. We were all still so tired
Yeah.
that we had to go and have a harbor with our staff, grieve some of the stuff that was painful for us all, and then say, we're going to have a reset. We're not in that season anymore. We've all been operating still from a season of exhaustion, physical, mental, emotional, all of that. But we've got to have a hard reset so that we can start again. It's important.
Yeah.
I was gone last week. I went to Denton, Texas. This is not an exciting place to go. My husband had a conference. We stayed at the Embassy Suites, which is the fanciest hotel in Denton. And like, I didn't hardly leave the hotel other than to eat food. And but the first day was Tuesday, and it took me the whole day to unspool because of current physical, emotional, mental, and probably a little spiritual exhaustion that I realized I haven't taken any time off this whole year. Like, yeah,
Right.
it's May and I've taken no time off because I'm gonna.
Well, we forced our staff to all take a week off in January.
And
we
the amount
forced
of
them.
amount of times they've said to me, "Well, when's your week? When's your week?" is 150 times, and I'm like, I don't know. I'll get there.
I don't think anyone's asked me when's my week. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.
They're waiting for.
I appreciate that. I'm looking at y'all. Thank you, staff, for asking me when I'm taking a week off.
Y'all ask the man. Why?
But
are you not
I'm
asking
just
the
saying,
man?
like, we forced it on them,
Right.
but we didn't.
Well, because
but
you and I had
who
plans.
forces it on us? Our own discipline.
Correct.
And we didn't do
And
it.
We didn't do it. Right.
And so here we are grasping to go to Denton to do nothing.
and while I'm there, I'm like, you dummy. If you don't figure out, like, I have a family vacation schedule, which is partial rest and partial work because you're making memories with your family, all things. And it's like, you dummy, if you don't go in your calendar and figure out some spaces. So like, you've got a time, but you need more of them, but you have at least one that's coming at the end of the fall that you've like earmarked already. And like, no matter what happens, you're going to not be here.
Where?
Like in September, you have this time.
Oh, well, I'm going to preach. Yeah.
You forced yourself. I'm saying you at least did this one, but you've got to do more.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if we don't, but what happens is, and you and I are really good at this, because we have figured out how to microdose our rest,
That's an
we are
episode.
way healthier
Than we've ever
been.
I'm better than ever.
And so we feel fine, but then
I'm winning.
I'm not like I was in 20. We do not look like those 2019 people.
But
We do not feel like those 2019 people. We do
Right.
not come across. We are wiser.
Right.
We are healthier. But we still need the rest. And like, I got so convicted, we haven't even had time to talk about it, of just like, what am I doing? Like, one, we have an incredible team. The church keeps going. Like, what? But also, yeah, I'm living on these microdoses and I'm not. And so you said it to me yesterday. I'm like, yes, I'm not operating from rest. I'm operating to hopefully at some point get rest whenever I decide to put it in, which I never did decide to do.
I got all 13 weeks of Get Off the Throne while riding on a moped in
Right.
Florida on a sabbatical.
Right.
It just like fell into my like,
Right.
and I'm just like, why
Why?
am I up here grinding so intensely when we should just
And all while
be
learning
rested?
that it's God's church and he's building it and it's nothing that we're doing and all, like, we're learning all the right lessons. And I think that's the
Yeah,
part.
okay.
You just can't, you never outgrow this discipline. I think is it right. It's like, you're never going to, I've now learned how to rest, so I don't need to rest anymore.
Right.
No, because otherwise the mindset will come back. I think that's what I'm like, I'm in the moment convicted of, like, yeah, but we don't have that mindset, so we are fine. But it's like, well, yeah, I don't have the mindset, but that doesn't mean I had the rest. So, okay, sorry, I took it the wrong way.
No, you didn't at all. I want to beat up the mindset of tired.
Yeah, let's go there.
Because
Okay, let's
people,
go. They live there.
well, you've just been saying I'm tired for so long. That's like, okay, well, are you going to do anything about it? Or are you just
Right.
going to keep on being tired?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean you have to quit your job and go to Maui. But like, quit watching the same Netflix show and quit eating garbage and like do something that's kind of hard to allow you to rest. Experiment something. Like go rent a paddleboard.
Right. It's my
Go
favorite thing. in the
on a
universe.
bike ride.
Right.
Like I bought this little tiny mini motorcycle thing that me and Aaron rode around at camp. I'm telling you, it like rejuvenated me. Like
Right.
do some rest. Stop having the mindset of tired, because tired equals meh.
Well,
your whole life is meh. Your marriage is meh. Your parenting, your health, everything when you're exhausted is just like, your Eeyore. You're, draw a line and be like, okay, I have to get over this tiredness, and then stop declaring tired.
And
how are you? I'm happy.
Yeah.
How are you?
Fulfilled.
Dude, God's good. How are you? Man, I'm doing better than I used to.
Jolly.
Like, speak some life into, I'm busy, I'm tired, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. Because you're telling yourself that you're not more. Are you more than a conqueror? Well, then talk like it. Act like it.
It's really good. Aaron and I were in counseling a few weeks back, and something the counselor said really shook us, because he's super disciplined. And like you were saying, he's a very peaceful person because he's super disciplined. However, in the conversation, realized because you're super disciplined, sometimes you need to blow up your discipline.
Yeah.
You need to like get out of your structure of the way you do it. And the same is true of like, because he was like, you're just in a pattern and it looks like a healthy pattern, but it's actually
right.
There's new things that if you stay in the same pattern, mold, calendar, whatever, without, and so I'm thinking of like somebody who's like, okay, I'll stop playing video games till 2 a.m. Okay, cool. If that's one adjustment you make, but you don't change anything else.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just have to blow everything up to be able to identify what is your mentality of tired. Because for me anyway, we've talked about it. When was that? It was not last year, but the year before. The October when we moved in this building, I was tapped, lost my get to, super, and it took me.
And we sent you away.
Yeah, it took me this like to actually be able to identify the mentality, because I kept thinking, oh, it's this, and it wasn't, and I would think it was this, and it wasn't, and I would take off a Tuesday or a Wednesday just to like no. And sometimes you just have to blow the whole thing up to like start over with the mentality. It's not just enough to say. Does that make sense? It's not just enough to say, I'm going to decide to not be tired. You have to look at your whole life and be willing to blow 5 things up to get back to a healthy rhythm of, I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
You're saying it great. And if you're married, take one for your spouse. So when Whitney was there, I, as her brother, and Aaron, as her husband, had to take one for her to be able to be gone.
Yeah.
So for however many 2 weeks or whatever that was, I'm leading staff.
Right.
I'm just doing some stuff. I'm here without my ride or die.
Right.
Aaron is doing the kid thing and doing the this, and he's not putting weight on, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm telling
taking
you,
the extra step to
Rachel's done the same thing for me. She's done the same. I would have still never taken a vacation if it wasn't for Whitney.
Right.
I would have never taken a vacation if it wasn't for Whitney.
I'm just kidding. But
it doesn't matter what
you're right. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what anybody gives me to go to their cabin.
Right.
She
you got to go. Right.
Said you've got to go. And so like, if you're a spouse, take one. And guess what? You can have it next. Like, don't do this tit for tat. Like, oh, well, when do I? Must be nice to have 3 days to go. Love each other enough to let the other one rest.
It's really good.
Last night, Lillian had a sleepover. Last night, 2 girls. They're 12. All stayed the night at my house. It was Monday night. Today's Tuesday.
Yes.
It's not Friday.
Right.
I'm at work right now.
Right.
Those jokers were up till 2:30 making slime in the kitchen.
Right.
But you know what Rachel said? Go to bed.
Right. I got it.
Go to bed. So I went to bed at 10 o'clock. She came in, quiet as a dove. I don't know how she did it. I didn't even know she got in the bed. And so you know what? I'm rested because Rachel took one for me. Now, I do that for her all. Now, I'm not staying up with the girls' sleepover.
Right.
But all the time, I'm doing
when
things.
Titus is sick, you're going to go sleep on the
I'm
floor
the one
in his
going to
room.
the ER.
Right.
I'm taking him to the ER.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to help each other get out of this cycle.
It's really good. It's really good. And not be resentful because what you said, not be resentful of each other, or whether it's your spouse, whether it's your friend, like, because you've helped me and I've helped you in different ways because we've allowed ourselves, what you said, we've picked up the slack for each other. The first year you were the lead pastor, you were gone for 6 or 7 weeks, but it wasn't restful.
I was preaching. I'd already booked preaching
You had
camps.
already preached all these camps because you didn't know that you were about to have the job you were about to have. And that year was exhausting and hard, and like took one for like the team everywhere. Whereas the year that you went to rest and really were gone for some time was a different type of, the picking up the slack, it's a different thing because you came back healthier, happier, more joyful, which then makes it worth it. Well, and I think, go ahead.
You said, I have my friend back.
Yes, right.
I don't know. It's been a couple of years, but I took 4 weeks off.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
And so, which is funny because we're like, we're going to do this every year. And then I never did it.
No, we never did again. Right.
Some pastors be taking 3 months off, which I think is kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, but it's just finding the right rhythm and the right balance for you, finding the right. And so whatever you're saying is, I'm like, I get it. Aaron doesn't get 4 weeks off in his job ever.
Right.
Like that's not a thing. So it's not, maybe for pastors that's the thing, but not for other people. But finding your Sabbath day, your Monday, your this day, like you've got to find the new patterns and the new ways. And so, yeah, if you work 4 10s, you've got to find the day that you're off that you can really find real rest and not just lay on the couch. And then if you're married, you got to find some time to Sabbath together. You got to find the like actual place to recharge and reconnect. And I think just what you're saying about the mentality of it is recognize, do I want to be this person or this person in 5 years?
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'll just be tired guy, and then I'll be tired guy the rest of my life.
And then I'll be dead guy 15 years early.
Right. Which sucks and is lame. And so like, don't do that. Like blow up some things and allow the mentality to shift. You are really good at changing your mind. I don't know how to, like, we've talked about it before, but you are if you make a decision, now that's the decision.
Right.
So help somebody who struggles to shift their mindset. Like, I know it's in you, but also what is it when you want to fight back, when your internal clock mind wants to fight back from the new change, help them with like, how do they do that? How do they?
That's a great question. I think that I'm, for some reason, good at pulling back and seeing the long-term perspective.
The long haul.
The long haul. I view my life till death.
Right.
Like, I view me until 99. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I view me.
Not in 5-year increments.
Not in 5-year increments.
But in Trust and Baba, born in 1982, all the way till whenever.
And so I'm like, okay, I don't want to get up and go to the gym this morning, but I remember me and my cousins having to carry my grandpa down basement stairs in a chair because he couldn't go down at like 65.
Wow, right.
I don't want to be the guy that has to get carried down the stairs.
Look, that's 20 years away.
Right. And so like the reason that I got up and did legs, I went up to the gym this morning after a sleepover at my house last night, leading staff meeting at 9 a.m. because I'm really good for some reason at remembering the long term. The reason that I preach how I do is because I know hell's coming.
Yeah.
Because I know eternity is real. And so like, I think that it's when I preach treat yourself. Remember I made those photos of all of us when we're 70 and like, I see Rachel at 70 and I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be with this chick for another 30 years, I should probably pour into her instead of yell at her. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so I think that I think that I'm disciplined because of my perspective for the long haul.
So the mentality of tired, when you look at that and you go, I don't want that to be my life. Right. It's because you recognize
if I don't change, it's not gonna.
Right.
And then I've got a long time to feel this way. And like,
if I'm already physically more tired at 40 than I was at 30.
Right.
What will it look like at 70?
And like, it feels good to look at my phone for 30 minutes and like erase from the world, but that's not fixing it. And so you put down the temporary Band-Aid to do the surgery to be healthy.
Right. And healthy is hard.
I think that's all that I'm good at.
No, it's not all that you're good at. But like, when it relates to that, yes, I think that's great. I just am like, if you have the mentality of tired, it can feel very daunting and terrifying to try to change it if you've been living in it a long time. Mm-hmm. But what you're saying is it's just one daily decision at a time. I remember you said that. You told us already you set the bedtime timer.
Yeah.
And then you told yourself when you're waking up in the morning, you could count to 5 and you had to have your feet on the ground or something, right?
Yeah, I count to 3.
Or 3.
And so like my alarm goes off and I would sit there and listen to the alarm and I'd hit snooze and it's 9 minutes and then I'd hit snooze again. And then now I'm late. And, oh, do I have time to go to the gym? I don't have time to get dressed. I got to be breakfast. I got to be there. And so I wouldn't go. Mm-hmm. And so I heard a TED talk from a lady. I don't even know what she was talking about. And she talked about how you've got to count down from 10 to 1. I'm like, that's too long. So I started counting to 3.
Like, I'll fall back asleep by the time I get to 1.
So my alarm goes off and I just started going 3, 2, 1. And I just would like,
get up.
Like force my body. And guess what? Once you're standing up, you're awake. Mm-hmm. And so I had to I've been going to the gym consistently 5 mornings a week for 5 years. Mm-hmm. But that started, now it's muscle memory. Say,
now it's easy.
This morning's not a fight. I just got out of bed and went.
Right.
But in the beginning, it was a fight every morning. But it was because like, dude, I'm 275 pounds at 36. I'm going to be 300 pounds at 45.
Right.
Or I'm going to do something about this. And then I'm going to die 15 years earlier and not walk my daughter down the aisle.
Right. Yeah. That's a little extreme, but
no, but it's true.
Real.
It's true.
It's real. Right.
I can either die at 85 plus, or I can have a heart attack and die at 58.
No, it's really real. The mentality of tired is all of these are options of how it comes in, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, in order to get to the bottom of it, you've got to identify the type of tired.
Yeah. Well, which is the biggest offender?
Yes, that is making you, and deal with it first.
Well, it's probably, I mean, there's probably a trifecta. Like, there's probably a couple that are going on.
Yeah, because like I've seen people who are like, I wish I could do blah, blah in the evenings, but by the time I get home from work, I am wiped out. And it's like, are you? Or is everything else in your life affecting your ability to actually be a human?
Yeah, or did you drink 400 milligrams of caffeine and eat trash all day? Like when I was in my mid-30s, I would fall asleep every day when I'd get home from work. I'd get home at 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'd sit on the couch, and I'd fall asleep like this.
Right.
I'm fat, I'm sleeping, I can't breathe, and my wife is missing me, and my kids aren't talking to me, and I'm trying to look at their school project, and I'm not doing that anymore.
Right. I was going to say, and last night we were here 10 hours of work in the day, and then you got home and went on a walk. Like, there's choices we make, but we have to identify the type of tired that it is in order for the mentality to change, because otherwise we'll just live in the same pattern.
And it's work.
Right.
It's not easy.
No, exactly.
I'm taking 2 fistfuls of vitamins a day.
Yeah, right.
I'm drinking a gallon of water.
Yeah.
I'm counting every calorie that, like, it's not easy. These things are not like, hey man, just take a nap and like, you're going to have all the energy.
Yeah.
Like, it's a choice of like, am I going to keep degrading or am I going to step into something?
Well, and
more?
then one last piece I just keep thinking is the mentality of tired for some people comes from not just the decisions of eating bad or not getting enough rest, but some of it is the emotional energy you're placing. You and I used to place too much emotional energy in certain places, and then we would be emotionally exhausted, but we were doing it to our own selves. And so no amount of emotional rest until we decided, hey, we love these people. They work here. We're going to give them our best. Yeah. But if it doesn't work, that's not our fault. Until we were able to identify some of these places where we were letting some emotional leak or some mental leak and whatever it is. Like when we were doing land swap and all that, we were the ones in every meeting doing every decision, doing every fight. And it was like, wait a minute, this is unhealthy the way we're doing this. So I can see some people who it's like, I've been trying to rest, but I'm still at work in the vortex of emotional exhaustion or mental exhaustion. And I'm like, maybe you're in an unhealthy, toxic environment. Maybe you're doing a job that is really not your calling or your purpose.
Maybe you got some patterns that you've allowed that are stressing you out.
Like there's some other pieces to it We could have made it 3 episodes, but like
you and I used to talk via text to each other right until we were falling asleep.
all day long. Valentine's Day, we were texting each other while at dinner with our spouses in separate places. Like we've done it before.
Like
work
a
thing.
staffing issue,
Yeah.
a service, a financial deal, like
Right.
literally different restaurants on Valentine's Day.
Right.
Texting each other, not Valentine's Day things.
No.
Like, I can't believe they didn't respond to our email. Like
Tomorrow we're gonna how are we gonna stupid?
and we don't do that anymore.
No, right.
Like unless the sky is falling.
Yeah, correct. But it's been super rare.
I mean, and
Yeah.
now what I do is I just put a reminder on my phone
Right.
to talk to whoever I need to talk to in the morning.
Right. Yeah.
And like that, I'm doing that to protect her.
Right.
She doesn't tell me to protect me. And if I start telling her and she gets spooled up, now I'm spooled up.
Right.
And now Rachel's spooled up.
Right.
And so like, stop. Jeff Key,
We were just talking about you.
we're filming, like, come in.
Come here. Come here.
We're actively filming an episode. Guys, this is Jeff Key. No, come all the way
here.
in. They have to be able to see you.
Well, you have to say hello.
You can't stay for, oh, is he sitting? Where does he sit?
Say hi right there. Oh wait.
This is Jeff.
Hi.
Is he in the screen, Julia?
No.
No?
Have him sit in the.
Jeff. Jeff, we're just talking about you. Go to this one. Julia, just come move the, oh yeah, Jeff, come sit right here. Come sit right here. Are you nervous that you're on the tug of war?
Not at all.
Jeff, we're just talking about how
That was
you,
the instigator of the Tom Around Town.
he's an instigator of Tom
and
Around
then
Town.
you gave Tristan the time to go to the Colorado house.
And we're in here talking about rest and about how you and Lindsay forced Rachel and I and how good it was to go to be rested.
I could use rest right now.
Okay, Jeff, Lindsay just had knee surgery,
yes.
and so he is
the vacuum
He-
cleaner.
what he's-
No.
He's
He could use rest.
yeah, he's emotionally tired and he's physically tired and he's probably relationally tired. All right,
That's good to see you.
we're out of here.
That's
are
all.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. Follow, tag, all the things. We got to get Jeff and Lindsay their hats soon for being the Tom Around Town people. And that's it. Yeah, I don't know if you got questions about rest or about being tired.
Jeff,
let
you
us
want to tell
know.
everybody anything?
Be blessed.
Be blessed. There you go.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
good one.
All right, see y'all.
Love y'all.